Hey guys, so today I want to talk a little bit about this story. Microsoft is wanting to move the Windows operating system fully to the cloud. Now, what does that mean? Well, we've already seen the trend of the increasing personalized advertising that is coming on Microsoft. And we know from recent times that Microsoft Windows 365 allowed commercial sectors and businesses to stream the Windows operating system from a cloud computer to their computer, so a cloud server. Now, what does this mean for everyone? Well, I actually covered something like this and made a little bit of a prediction that comes pretty close, talking about the chip shortage and how it may just create the trend and the justification for innovating a thin client future. And there's a lot of reasons for this to be beneficial to large businesses, not only large businesses, but also agencies as well. As others have mentioned on Twitter, how it's a wet dream for certain agencies to have a thin client or a cloud-based computer. Now, what does that mean, really? What is a cloud-based operating system? Well, what that means is you would have something like a thin client, which is something like a low-resource device, where there would be innovated thin clients that would be able to access a much more powerful server in order to run applications in the operating system. And then, just like you would watch Netflix or something else, it would be streamed to your local client. So you would perform operations just like you would on your computer today. But instead of it running on your local storage, instead of it running on your hard drive, instead it would actually be running on a cloud server controlled by Microsoft. Let's take a closer look at this presentation which came out. So this was released today, and their plan is called the Modern Life Strategy and Priorities, and they're increasingly moving the needle on opportunities to move Windows increasingly to the cloud. And ultimately, the end result would be a fully cloud-hosted operating system, according to some of these papers and presentations. And what they have as their ambition is to be the world's computer. They want to transition from being a trusted public cloud for enterprises to becoming the trusted, ubiquitous cloud to edge platform for all organizations and all applications. We know there's quite a large user base of Windows, so I do believe that most people are probably just going to stick with it and move into that cloud environment. And there's also other innovations that they're working on in order to integrate more AI features for a more personalized experience. And what that means for individuals is a personalized experience generally means using your personal data in order to cater advertisements to you individually based on your interests, your activities on the computer. And there is no better way to do this than to run a cloud-hosted operating system that is streamed to a thin client or other type of hardware that may be able to act as a thin client. So there's no surprise here. This is the trend, and this is, of course, the big dream for many large businesses, to be able to have individuals who want to host all their applications in the cloud. And I even mentioned in my video that I see the future of smartphones being cloud hosted. Now, I don't see that as my future. I don't see that as people who follow this channel's future. I still see local hosted as the best solution because it just is. You have control over your hardware, you have control over your storage, you have control over everything, including the encryption you may set up to perform various operations remotely. But with a cloud-hosted system, you'll be reliant on Microsoft's setup for their encryption for that streaming. But not only that, the local storage on the cloud server, which will be accessible to who knows how many employees, how many contractors may have access to those kinds of things. And so this is something I wanted to talk about. In addition to the security, the privacy implications, there's also a question of uptime. If you're running a cloud-hosted operating system, what happens if the cloud server goes down? Are you going to have access to your computer, or are you just going to have to wait for that cloud server service to come back up? That's another thing to consider, not only the data collection, the security implications, and yet another implication here is the possibility of it being a subscription model, as is hypothesized here on tomshardware.com. So what if they extended the capabilities as it currently has to businesses on a per user, per month basis to general consumers? And that's what it sounds like it's actually trying to do. Their envisionment is to have a cloud-hosted operating system that you may very well pay a monthly fee in order to access that cloud. And so you'll actually be paying for it, and you're also risking all the data collection, security implications, the downtime possibilities. And by integrating different types of AI, where a normal computer may not be able to handle these processes, if you can normalize this type of AI usage in daily life, wherein even basic employment is not possible without it, well, then you can basically force an entire population to migrate over to cloud-hosted operating systems, hypothetically. Now, this does appear to be one of the trends that's ongoing, is the integration of AI into just about everything. And so, of course, if that is the case, maybe older computers won't be able to handle some of those operations. They may need to use a rented or subscription-based cloud service for it. And these are just some thoughts I have on this story of Windows' long-term plan to move increasingly to the cloud and ultimately all the way into the cloud. And that's what I have today, guys. Hope you like this video. Make sure to share it and help spread awareness on this, help people understand why they may want to move over to Linux, and I'll try to come out with more content to help you along the way. Follow this channel, and I'll be back later with more on how to protect your security and privacy.